They have good reasons to be claimed that we are a sustainable and ethical brand. But they have been criticized over the years multiple times by different kind of people who would maybe, I would ask that question too. Or when I think about a sustainable brand and when I talk to sustainable brands, I always ask that question. I could ask that question to you too. Do you know, and the obvious answer is yes, but do you know the quantities, how much you produce, right? And everybody would say like, yes. So then the next question is, why is this such a pain for everybody to answer? Because there has to be an absolute yes, because you know your costs and production, you know how much fabric you have to have for producing so and so on garments, right? So this is that's a no-brainer, right? But then when it comes to the quantities, and obviously Patagonia is such a big brand, it's an international brand. I don't know how many branches or stuff they are, but like it's a really big, well-known brand. They would never answer this question because it's a choice, right? And I'm not criticizing them. It's just a fact, right? They don't want to answer the question because of course they know. But the thing is, so my question would be, and I think that is the question they fear. I think actually they should not fear, but I think this is what they don't want to answer. If people then come and say like, how can you claim to be a sustainable brand if at a certain point in time, you, I don't know, produce per day, I'm saying something like, I don't know, like 1,000 garments. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. I don't have no clue, right? But I think they don't want to deal with that. They would still, I think, rightfully be claimed as a sustainable and ethical brands because they cross a lot of points on our checklist, right? As I mentioned before. So the question coming back to scalability is like, so my personal view is really that I think that if you have a sustainable and ethical brand, at some point in time when you grow, and I don't know that number yet, because I never had a fashion brand, so you have more insight into that, but you have a better understanding of it. I wouldn't. But I'm pretty sure that at a certain point in time when you grow, there is a limit to how you can really be sustainable, like in all of these points, because at some point in time you have to outsource things because you grow and there is more demand, and that is all good. But you can't oversee all of that. At least it's getting more difficult. So yeah.
Thank you so much for asking me that question. I mean,
you can answer on several layers there.
Yeah, but there are so many answers and so many aspects that we can, put into it. As I started the sustainable fashion brand, the core for ZÁY SHEEN is sustainable and ethical.
Yeah.
These are the two things that I always wanted whenever I'm doing something, even on computer or even on physically. I just keep these two things in mind in every sense, not just clothing, in every sense.
Okay.
So we all know that there are enough clothing for the next 6 generations.
Yeah, we do.
So if we keep that in mind, and I wanted to start a fashion brand, a sustainable fashion brand, still a sustainable fashion brand, it's completely wrong. That's what I think, because there are enough clothing. You can go to the thrift store, you can go to the clothes swapping if you feel like, or you can, rent the clothing instead of producing a new one to do that. But you can do that because there are a lot of people too that don't like to use used clothes.
Yeah.
They don't want thrift stores or to do that. So they said, okay, we can support the sustainable or ethical brand, but I need to buy something new. It's only on me and I can keep it for myself for as long as possible. So for myself, it's always a fight between in my mind, and whenever I see the strategics of my brand and I see people buy, of course there's a demand. There's a demand that every thousands of millions of brand right now that's trying to fulfill that, but we cannot, because there's still more, because of the trends, of course, because not everyone also supporting sustainability or slow fashion we call. So it totally depends, because you name the big brand, you're never gonna disclose it because they're completing the demand too, and also because when you do the business, because we cannot be 100% sustainable, we all know.
Yeah.
And we cannot, but it's business too. We have to make profits. So if they're ordering a big quantity, they're going to be paying less for that and they can sell for more. Definitely, we all know. But they can make the overconsumption. They can make the overproduce the garment that they're making. Which is not good too, because at the end it's gonna be landfill if they're not able to sell.
Yeah, they're gonna destroy it. That's the worst.
They're gonna destroy it to the
because they can. Then here's the thing: they can afford to destroy it, which is really crazy.
It doesn't hurt them too, but it hurts the planet, of course. Even though if they say we paid it ethically, which is good, but then they're destroying the planet. So it is not, they're not keeping both things balanced, which is not good too. So what I do is, I know that there's a demand, this much demand. What we could do is we can do the pre-orders. We know that this much people gonna buy.
That's a good thing too. I've seen that for a couple of brands.
Of course, a lot of sustainable brands do that. But when I say it's all business, the thing is the people that we are, the consumers or the customers, they're not so patient in this fast.
Yeah, I know. I'm very patient. I like these kind of stuff, but I know what you mean.
So if we like go for the people are not patient, they're like, I'm ordering now, I should be getting by tomorrow. Like Amazon destroyed us for this. So that's the thing. But the people who value this, they of course they wait for 2-3 weeks, which is good too, because I know whatever I'm making, I'm gonna be sending and it's gonna be used. That's the thing I could do, and I also try to do that. But
it's a challenge.
But it's a challenge at the same time too, right?
Yeah, I see.
But at the other side, it is that you can make a piece with a lot of order. You can make a core collection of yours that you can sell.
That's
always.
a good way.
You can sell like I created a brand,
which I think makes total sense, no? To have a few things like already always like
exactly, because that's the thing that you're gonna be selling always 24/7 the whole year. Even you have some more stock, you know that it's gonna be sell out later. So that's the thing you could do. But if you're making some drops and like that, you shouldn't be making like too often. Do it like in a quarter, like 1 or 2 times. So I support that.
I would too.
As low, because I started with this, that it's no needed. There's no need of a sustainable brand too, because as long as you're not providing any value, like if you're making a sustainable brand for the big size of people, I mean they have oversize and all that, or you're fixing some problem that not already exist, you can make, of course.
But a lot of sustainable brands actually, I mean, they have this angle, not all of it, but it's a good angle to have inclusive sizing.
Of course,
because there are still a lot who don't do that.
Especially in America.
Especially in America. Okay.
So yeah, that's the thing, because there's a lot of big market too of the big size people.
Let me ask you, do Americans care about sustainable brands? I have no idea. So, yes and no, I guess.
I would say only the people who knows about this, because maybe that was you or I was talking to someone else. It says when you learn it, you cannot unlearn it.
I guess it was me.
Because once you know that this is the right path,
you cannot.
You support fast fashion, you're gonna be feeling guilty.
Genau. So I think it was me, because I also have something. What I usually come back to, once you've seen things, it's really hard to unsee it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So the people, of course, those are the people that support sustainability 100% or as much as they can. And the other thing, of course, we're building awareness, and also the big brands and the government is pushing them to be more sustainable and make it ethical, less quantity, so they can balance all things. But yeah, that's the whole idea of this podcast too, because there was always a point. Anybody who supports sustainable fashion, they have a point where they heard something and they thought of it. Why is that? Of course, you too, and we discuss about it, myself too. And there could be somebody who's listening, and he can think about it. Okay, there's a way. There's a thing that we could do. There's a way out of fast fashion, and we can support the humanity and of course the planet. And of course we discussed before about the sea cell and all that. It's also good for your body too, because
sea cell especially.
It's closer to your body. You also breathe from your skin, because we get all sweat and all that.
And this is actually where chemicals have the way to get into your skin, right?